You alone are responsible for your thoughts. Only you can change them. Yogananda. Hey guys, it's John out here on the back deck enjoying a mug of coffee on this very chilly morning, but it is a beautiful day. The sun hasn't peeked over my house yet, but blue skies, sun is shining. Beautiful, beautiful morning. I wanted to hop on and make this video because oftentimes people in the world will ask how they can change their life, what they can do to change their life. They want to create a new direction in their life. And all of the ancient texts say that it's your thoughts that are creating your life. So what are you thinking? A lot of people don't want to take responsibility for changing their lives. They want to live into the life that I had this life experience. So this is what I think. This is what I believe. But it's your thoughts that are being creative. Buddha says, what you think you become, you create your world. So if that is the case, and Yogananda's quote of, only you alone can think them. So what are you thinking? Basically is what he was paraphrasing his quote there. But it comes down to, you're the only one who can change your belief. And here's the key to this. It's not just belief. It's your belief about the now. It's a belief about your present moment experience, because you'll never leave the present moment. You can't go to the store next Thursday right now. You can only go when it is the now. You can only live in the now. When you look at this idea of tomorrow is something that is always in front of us, and yesterday is something that is always behind. Today is the day that you have the ability to have thought, word, and deed in full action. So today is the day that you have the ability to create thought, word, and deed. The first word is thought. What are you thinking? Your words and deeds are reflections of your thoughts. You will do things because you think a certain way. And when you look at it from the perspective of, I get to choose my thoughts, I get to choose what I believe, I get to create into my experience the outcome of my chosen thoughts, then what happens is you get very conscious about how you live your life. You get very conscious about the feelings that you're engendering into the world. You get very conscious about the idea that you have the ability to live an abundant life surrounded by love that is, where you'd like to be in nature or in the city, depending on what you love. You have the idea, you have the thought, you have the beginning, you have the impetus of creation coming out of you through your chosen thoughts. And when you switch out of subconscious belief from past experiences, you release the hold of being a victim and you become the creator. And when you step into the role of being the creator, you have the ability to create anything. Nothing is impossible for you. You can ask mountains to move and it'll move. Nothing's impossible for you. That is, that line is so empowering because it's telling you all the power is yours, but it all begins with a thought. It all begins with you deciding to choose something in your thoughts and minds about your present moment. The Bible says, whatever you ask in God's name is granted if you have faith. Well, there's two things in this. I am is God's name, according to Moses. That's a present moment thought. I am. Whatever you ask in God's name is granted if you have faith. Your faith is a thought. It's a belief. You believe it, that's your thought. So this statement begins and ends with your thought. But what it does not say is, whatever you ask in God's name is granted if you have faith, and I want it for you. Or you are good, or you are bad, or you're gonna suffer this. It doesn't say any of those things that people negotiate onto that line. It literally simply says, whatever you ask in God's name is granted if you have faith. Now, this has worked out tremendously well in my life. I believe that. I believe the simplicity of that line, that we can create in any moment of our lives, but it always begins and ends with the thought. I believe it is happening. I believe it is coming into my life. I believe it is an expression of my belief being reflected out in the amazing image of God that surrounds me. We are created in God's image. You're in it. If you look at this world, it's all just atomic energy in motion. It's just an illusion of belief that we're living in. And in this illusion of belief that we're living in, it's only reflecting what we think about our world. I'm 100% positive that you probably know a negative person. And have you ever noticed they always have something to be negative about? It's because they believe the world is negative. They think the world is negative. Their thought is the world is negative, so they see the negative world. I I look at the world from a perspective of love and compassion. I look at the world as from the perspective of people are good. And I see it every day because I think that. I believe that. And your world is as a reflection of the outer world is a simple thought that you choose to create. And the more of us that create thoughts of peace, prosperity, love, we create that world around us. And then people start to choose around us to think the same because they see how well it's working out for us. We are the example. We are the bright spot in the world that gives people the opportunity to have an off ramp from their negative thoughts. But we have to think it first. Someone has to step up and say, I am creating a world. You know, if you look at my YouTube channel, it says changing the world one person at a time. That one person is you. You are that one person that we're changing. That person who's saying, I am creating a world of love and compassion, and I am choosing to love people rather than fear people. I'm choosing to empower people rather than disempower them. I am choosing to lift people up instead of oppressing them. I am choosing to live a life of love, compassion, and I am choosing to create that light into the world in such a way that the world itself will explode into this beautiful light of love because the people around you will start thinking the same. And the people around them will start thinking the same. And it's like that old shampoo commercial. They'll tell two friends and so on and so on. It comes back to that idea, that simple thought that you've decided to choose about this moment. But only you can change your thoughts. Only you have the ability to actually say, I am. The people who are going to change around you because you've changed your thoughts, they are choosing that thought. They are choosing to think, I am going to do what they did. They are choosing to think it. So your thoughts are only your responsibility. Nobody else's thoughts are your responsibility. Only your thoughts are your responsibility. What are you thinking? What are you putting out there? What are you creating into the world? Are you creating a love, a compassion, a joy, or are you delivering fear, anxiety, stress? Are you focused on the news, which is only marketing fear? It's only marketing the horrible things that are happening in the world. But for every one of those horrible things that's happening in the world, there's 1,000 good things that have happened in the world. Probably more than that. Start focusing on the good in the world. Start focusing on that little boy who goes out there and helps his neighbor carry their groceries. That police officer who doesn't shoot the guy but hugs the guy. You know, focus on that space of just joyfully loving and start putting that in the world so people can make other choices. We can do it. It's not as hard as people think. All you're responsible for is your part of the world. You can't save the world, but the world can save itself by your example. So literally take this moment and take stock of what you're thinking. What are you thinking about the now? And if it's not creating the world that you like, change your thinking. Change your thoughts. Make your part of the world so bright that it is an example for others. You can do it. I have complete faith in you. I know that you can do it. I've seen people change their lives in dramatic ways. I see it every day. I get messages from people who say, gosh, I'm so happy now because I've chosen this way. I think this way now. I think more positively now. My world is so much more positive than it ever was because I've changed the way I believe. And that is the key. You have the ability to change your thoughts at any given moment. And now is the moment. That's my thought on this. You guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.